We have a major front-running signal here that could be happening for crypto, for Bitcoin, and of course your altcoins right before the huge meeting that we're going to be having next week, which is the Fed meeting. If you guys are new to this market, that is a very important meeting to be watching. That's going to be on September 17th, okay? Why is that important? Well, it's because this Fed meeting is actually looking very bullish for the markets as they're looking to cut rates. Okay, as of today, we still have a a Fed rate cut probability of 100%. Okay, for a rate cut, that is significant. It looks like we're very much leaning towards a 25 basis point rate cut. But what's also important is the SEP that's going to be discussed in this meeting. If we're going to get 3 rate cuts this year, that is going to be very good because that's going to be up from the last SEP of 2, and that tells us that this is going to be a rate cut cycle and not just a singular rate cut. And why is that important is because it drives cheaper money into the markets as the interest rates get lowered. Okay. This is the chart I want to be talking to you guys about first. It's gonna be the S&P 500 ES1 exclamation mark market. Why is this market important? Is because it's highly correlated with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is still the driver of this market. If Bitcoin pumps, that's going to be very good for the altcoins. And if Bitcoin dumps, that's very bad for the altcoins. So even if you're not trading Bitcoin, you want to be following Bitcoin. Okay? You don't want to get blindsided by just trading your altcoins. I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of Bitcoin. Okay? But let's go ahead and get into some news first before getting into Bitcoin, the charts, as well as a few altcoin setups, which would include Tars AI or TAI USDT, Moodeng, the meme coin, as well as Dodo, which is a request by one of my viewers. If you guys have any requests, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below. Of course, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis. Let's go ahead and get into news first. Okay, first piece here is by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin price analysis. Key levels Bitcoin must clear to escape consolidation. So I am looking at, well, Bitcoin is at a key level right now, which is the daily 50 SMA. You got your 3-day 21 SMA. Those are going to be about the 116K level. If it clears this level, of course, the next key level would be anything from 120 up. Okay. Where if Bitcoin could actually break out of its bearish pattern on this weekly time frame I've been talking about, and I'll point it out to you guys in just a second. Then that's going to be very good for Bitcoin. Okay. However, there could be a front running signal, like I said, on the stock market chart because they have high correlation. So something else to be watching out for as a front running signal. Now, the next piece here is by Cointelegraph. Spot Bitcoin ETFs see strong demand as crypto markets top $4 trillion again. So yeah, I that sounds bullish for Bitcoin. That sounds bullish for crypto, but it all goes back to one of the main reasons why I am bullish right now is of course the Fed coming into the picture, right, and cutting rates. That is one main reason, right? In addition to technicals, right, and that Fed rate cut cycle is really gonna give this bull run a major tailwind like we have seen back in 2021. If you guys been around since 2021, you guys know that was crazy. Okay, and I think we're about to see something like that again. Next piece here is by Cointelegraph. Gen Alpha will buy Bitcoin over gold. Well, I mean, even millennials are buying Bitcoin over gold. I'm a millennial. I mean, gold to me is foreign, right? I mean, I can't. It's not easily accessible. It's not easily transactable. I mean, yeah, Bitcoin's gonna have a lot more volatility, but I am also a trader, so I like trading my assets, right? My Bitcoin and my altcoins. I am long on Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here across the board. So my opinion on this market is, of course, bullish, but these are just my opinions and not financial advice. You got to do your own due diligence. And there's gonna be a day where I change my opinions. When this bull cycle is over and all cycles come to an end. Just so you know, I there was a time when I thought the bull cycles don't come to an end. But that's not true. Reality check back in late 2021, and things started crashing like crazy, and that was the start of the bear cycle. You don't want to get stuck in the bear cycle. All right. Next piece here is by B in Crypto. The sharks push Bitcoin above 115K in 2 weeks. I mean, it could be because retail doesn't seem to be in this market just yet. And how I measure retail, I think one good tool to be looking at is by looking at the Google Trends, which, I am displaying this by weeks in terms of the search term Bitcoin. And when I compare the correlation from back in, um, even back in 2020, I see a high correlation between the spikes and the bull cycle price action. Okay. And right now, you guys, we are at a very low point in this Google Trends for Bitcoin. um that tells me, how many people are searching for Bitcoin. Of course, it's on an indexed number, but it's very low, so this tells me that, you know retail is not really in yet, and that means we're basically just trading against the smart money for the most part. All right, so next piece here is by Cointelegraph: How to Turn Crypto News into Trading Signals Using Grok 4. So there's been a lot of talk about using AI chatbots to uh, get trading signals. If you guys have any experience with that, let me know how it is, how accurate it is. Have you guys made any money on it? I don't think I trust it enough for someone else to give me signals. Even though I am a fan of AI. But after just learning it on my own and through watching other YouTubers and really just thinking about these on my own, for the most part, like I learned the fundamentals from YouTubers in the beginning, and then really just thinking about it on my own and using my own observations to develop my own strategies. I don't think I can trust an AI bot, right? Even though I am a fan of AI, because like I have my own strategies. So, let me know how that is if you guys use Grok or ChatGPT as trading signals. Excuse me. All right, I still have the allergies, but it's getting better. Let's see here. So ES1 exclamation mark. This the stock market features. So what are we looking at here? This is the rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern. It looks like the stock market, the S&P 500, is trying to break out. This is the daily chart here. Okay, I mean, in my opinion, this has already invalidated this rising wedge pattern. Is this the highest time frame that this rising wedge is in? It's validated in. Let me see here. 3 day time frame. Let's see. One up, one down, two up, two down. No, it's good. Well, it's the 3 day time frame. So I mean, actually, no, it's going to be the daily time frame, where it's the highest time frame it's validated. So, in my opinion, this could have already been an invalidation of this rising wedge pattern, since we already got a solid, I mean, a pretty good candle close um, that is above this rising wedge pattern. So even if it breaks back in, that would invalidate this rising wedge pattern, because this is the highest time frame I have this pattern validated in. So that is a good sign. Okay, so that is a good signal for Bitcoin. Okay, because if you actually take a look here, Bitcoin does also have a rising wedge pattern, right? I've been talking about this. You want to see Bitcoin break out of this pattern here, because it is a bearish pattern. And if this thing breaks down, the breakdown target would be almost 75K. That would be catastrophic for the altcoins, even though we have quite a bit of support below the breakdown point, including your daily 200 SMA. Currently at about 102,000. Okay, but you want to see Bitcoin invalidate this bearish pattern. So could um stock market actually be the front running signal before the FOMC meeting? I rarely see um some pretty good price action like 2 days before the FOMC meeting. So could this be the day? Or are we gonna be bullish next week through the FOMC meeting? That's not usual. But I mean, we do have a pretty bullish one that's coming up. All right, let's also talk about some altcoins now. Okay, altcoins. I want to do a recap of this just real quickly. Total three. And it is very close to a huge breakout here. It is invalidating bearish divergence on this daily time frame, because we've been having lower highs on the RSI, but this just keeps going. And bearish divergence usually indicates a pullback, but we're not seeing one here yet. So could this continue going and be an exception? Okay, something to be watching out for. 1.15 trillion is the big resistance that has been set 4 years ago. So something to be keeping an eye out on, because if this thing breaks out, this is going to be major for basically all altcoins, excluding Ethereum. But this thing's following Ethereum anyways, because Ethereum has already broke through all-time highs. Let's go ahead and go to Moodeng, which is the meme coin. All right, this is the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame for Moodeng. Let me load my weekly chart here. All right. Excuse me. It's probably gonna be a lower time frame chart. 3 day time frame. Moodeng broke out of this falling wedge pattern back in June. Okay, late June. Price targets would be about 29 cents. Price targets are estimates only. There could be more or less. In this case, very much depends a lot on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dumping, these price targets matters a lot less. These setups are going to be worth a lot less. Now, broke out of it, it hasn't hit its price target, but the price action still valid, because it is still above that upper trend line of that pattern it broke out of. It formed another falling wedge pattern that's probably more validated on a smaller time frame. Price target out of this second falling wedge pattern would be about 22 cents. It broke out of it, hasn't really quite hit that price target before going on to another falling wedge pattern. Finally broke out of this one. Price target would be about 17 cents. Let's see if it could hit this one, and then the next, and then the next. Okay, So that's basically what I'm seeing for Moodeng. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame and see if I can get if there's any sense of any other pattern here. I don't see another one here, so let's just move on to Dodo. All right, Dodo, this is a request by one of my viewers. If you have any requests, make sure to drop a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis. Dodo here. This is a long time altcoin here. This is what I mean by if you don't want to be stuck in a bear cycle, because look at this high that was set back in February 2021. This is the weekly time frame, and it is far from that right now. Okay. So you don't want to get stuck in this bear cycle. So this is why it's very important to have a game plan to take profits and to scale out as this bull cycle, when the bull cycle nears its peak. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if that's what you're gonna do, but I'm just sharing with you guys with what I'm gonna do. Okay, I hope that's what you're gonna do too. Something like that. So this is the weekly time frame. So within this so we have a falling wedge pattern here. Falling wedges are very simple and effective patterns. The most common pattern you guys will see if you guys start charting your charts, and the price target out of this one, if it breaks out by this point, for example, price target would be about 36 cents price target. Now, from within the falling wedge pattern, there is a possible cup and handle scenario. It's not fully formed, but it does have a rounded bottom in this weekly time frame. Okay, rounded bottoms usually turn into cup and handles, but it's not fully formed yet. The resistance would be about 67 cents. If it comes back up here to retest this resistance twice, then I would say that's formed. Let's take a look into the daily time frame. See if I can get any more clarity. I don't see a particular pattern here. It is trying to get above the daily 200 SMA. The orange line here, that's currently at about 5 cents. So let's see if it does that. Let's go ahead and go to Tars AI. Tars AI here, 3-day time frame. 3-day time frame. I talked about this falling wedge pattern. Price target out of this one is going to be about 13 cents. Okay, still valid breakout because the price action has been able to stay above this upper trend line of the pattern it broke out of. Since the breakout here, I talked about a possible cup and handle scenario that is looking like it could still happen on this 3-day time frame, because we still have a double bottom, double bottom, which could turn into a rounded bottom. The resistance here for this possible cup and handle scenario would be about 8.25 cents. I'm just gonna say that for even number's sake, right? Let's take a look into the daily time frame. Daily time frame here, there is a double bottom, right? That's probably even noticeable on the 3-day time frame as well. There is a double bottom here. Now, double bottoms are bullish patterns that usually break to the upside. Okay. Now, the resistance for this double bottom pattern would be about 7.5 cents. Price target for this double bottom would be about almost 9.4 cents price target. So let's see if Tars AI can hit some of uh these smaller targets before going on to the next one finally. But yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of Tars AI, Dodo, Moodeng, by dropping a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.